Shavua Tov. This shiur is dedicated to Rachalea Bas Rav Chaim Tzvi, and we'll begin. Okay, first question. My daughter is 10 and a very reserved, shy, but happy child. Even though she has few friends, she interacts fine with her siblings and family members. She doesn't like going to school much and even requested to stay home this summer instead of attending a fun day camp. Should I let her stay home in the summer or encourage her to go to camp? In general, should I be concerned about the fact that she's so introverted and antisocial? Okay, so if she's happy, and I'm trusting your insight and your clarity here. If she's happy, then leave her be herself. There's no Torah obligation to be very social. There's no Torah obligation to be popular. If she has a few friends and her interactions are okay, my only question would be, what actually will she be doing with her days? She's 10 years old. Will she be following you around through your activities? Do you work? Will she be alone in the house for many hours? The only reason I could see for sending her to day camp if she doesn't want to go and her social adjustment to the friends who she does have and to the family is good is if she'll have many unsupervised hours, which isn't good for a 10-year-old. So if that's not the case, if you have some program of activity for her, let her be herself, let her stay home, that's fine. I was no great chassid of day camp when I was a child either. I did go to sleepaway camp at different times when I was older than 10, I must say. But I do remember long summer afternoons with a book. I remember lying on the grass looking at the clouds. It wasn't so terrible. But everyone is different, and most children do like the social activity of camp. But if she's happy and she's busy, leave it alone. Okay, I'm a frum wife and mother, Baruch Hashem. However, I have never resolved the issue of women in Judaism to my satisfaction. It continues to boil beneath the surface, and therefore my feelings towards Yiddishkeit are ambivalent. Yes, I see that feminism in America has not been a success, neither for individual women nor for its impact on the next generation. However, I have serious problems with the Jewish view. Kiruv workers tried to teach the Judaism view men and women as different but equally important. It seems that they are whitewashing the facts. Here are two examples. If a male and female are both drowning, one should save the male. The Sforno in Bereshis Perek 2, Pasuk 18, talks about how men and women are somewhat equal, but not totally equal, for if they were totally equal, quote, it would not be fitting that one should work for and serve the other, unquote. When I encounter things such as this, my thought is that I have to choose between Judaism and self-respect. Am I wrong? So I'm going to say something very radical in view of your last sentence, and then I'll answer your questions. If you had to choose between Judaism and self-respect, what would you choose? Suppose you were a mamzer. Suppose you were in any one of the many situations in which a person's life would be radically altered by halacha. Suppose you were living in ancient times and you came out with tsaras, which would require you to be shunned and excluded. What would that do for your self-esteem and self-respect? Suppose you made a grave life mistake and you had to suffer a serious punishment such as death. What would that do for your self-respect? So what I want to begin by saying is that spiritually, we're here to reveal Hashem's kavod, to reveal His glory. The Torah is the blueprint through which He created both the world and us. It's coming from an even higher place than the collective soul of Am Yisrael. So what I would say is that one of the most distinctive things about the Jewish people is our yearning towards a state of bittul towards Hashem, of negating our egos towards Hashem and having authentic relationship with the source of all things, rather than seeking an autonomous relationship with Hashem, in which the Torah is meant to fulfill our emotional need for esteem. So, what I just said, I realize, is radical, is difficult to hear, but it's certainly true. So when you look at Rabbi Akiva, for instance, and you realize, the moment of realization that he must have had at 40, that his path is not going to be an easy one. Where was his self-esteem when he was sitting with the little children and learning Aleph Bet? So the Judaic answer is, his self-esteem should have been, and I assume it was with Rabbi Akiva, extremely good because he was aware of doing Hashem's will. And the same would hold true for somebody who would accept mamzerus, or the same would hold true for somebody who would accept being a mitzorah, and the same would hold true for any numbers of situations where they're willing to say, I lahatchila want to do Hashem's will, not b'di'evid. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go to your actual questions. Okay, so you know what doesn't work. So that's already the first step towards liberation, Maharal says. Okay, now let's look at the second step. Okay, the harder of the two questions we ask is the first one, the halacha concerning a male and a female both drowning.